good. I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. All right, you ready to get this show on the road?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the next edition of Show and Tell. I got the special guest here with me, Maliq, aka Dr. Awkward. What's happening, my
What up?
man?
What up? What up? What's going on? What's cracking with you, bro?
So when we put up the title for the show, do I put
Yeah.
Maliq? Do I put Dr.
Maliq,
Awkward? Do I put Maliq
Maliq
slash
point
Dr.
blank.
Awkward?
Nah, Maliq point blank everywhere, man. That's the character that like kind of encompasses everything. It's just me.
Maliq point blank. So that's the full name, Maliq point blank.
Yeah, yeah. Don't forget the point blank.
Got it. All right. So I finally get it now. That's why you have your name set up like that, point blank. All right. That's why we do interviews like this, so I can get the joke. That's clever. Well, tell me. So I've seen a lot of people with the multiple aliases.
Yeah.
Tell me the reasons behind your multiple aliases.
I mean, to be honest, it's necessary for me for a guy like I, Doom. Obviously, Doom is like a big influence on the person that I am. When I first started rapping as a little kid, like I was doing shows in my hometown with a mask on.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I didn't tell nobody I was doing, at least none of my friends or anything. I didn't tell nobody I was rapping, and I would just show up and just to get like a real feedback. You know what I'm saying? That was the only way I can get like true response. So I would go on stage with mascot heads and fucking stocking caps and what, but like now that I'm doing a little bit of everything, I feel like I need a little compartmentalization. Need, and I think the way that I record my music is too. It kind of lends to having multiple monikers involved, and it's already real conversational. So it's like it just kind of makes sense to have multiple characters involved. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I never even thought about that you use the mask just so people focus on everything else other than, exactly who you are. Because you were probably performing in front of people that you knew, or.
Some people. I mean, I was young, so I couldn't really travel too far outside of my hometown. So like, I was bound to have people in the crowd that was going, hype me, just because they recognize me, or if it's little stuff like that. But I just wanted to make sure that I got, a little removal from maybe some of the shit that I was rapping about, but also I can get a real feel for how my words were moving people. You know what I mean?
Okay. Nah, it's interesting. I never heard anybody say it like that before. I just always. I remember when I first started rapping, I was thinking about wearing a mask because I just was afraid.
It looked cool. Yeah. Right. I
Well,
mean, it's
yeah.
some of that too. Like, I'm not really like a showy dude, so like it was a very easy way to maybe flip the switch into being more of that character kind of thing. But I mean, shit. Just before the pandemic, I just had like a thing. I was like, dude, why am I doing this? Like, I've been doing this for so long. Like, it makes me feel so good. Like, so I actually rebranded altogether. I wiped every, not every trace, but I flipped the script entirely to something that was more personal. Like
Yeah.
instead of just brag rapping, like I'm gonna rap about how I'm actually feeling and what the shit that I see and like, what I'm saying, what moves me. So I was like, why do that behind a mask if it's so, what I'm saying, so personalized to me. So Maliq, point blank, that's me.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So
Period
how.
underscore baby, don't forget it.
So how long have you been making music for?
Um, I was I was recording on a iPhone in my closet with instrumentals playing in the background in like 13.
Oh, okay.
Um, and then we went straight to USB mics and we did a tape in 2014, me and my fam, and then ever since then I've at least had with enough time as I have, like I've always kind of committed a good chunk to making music to at least record myself, and then I didn't start making beats until 2018 maybe, but that's only because we kind of already came up making our own instrumentals off of, you hear an interlude or an intro. They fuck around and, they leave 8 bars on a on an intro with no intro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
As a rapper, like that's music to your ears. So like we got real good off of that kind of stuff. Throwing acapellas, and we did a little DJing in high school and stuff. So like, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of lended easier to making beats when we finally did. But I always kind of rolled in a crew, so I didn't really go outside of my pocket. I was just a writer and a rapper when I felt like it. So I never really got into all the extra stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, man, I'm always jealous hearing stories about people back in high school that got started rapping. I just grew up in an area, where I don't know, people did it, but it wasn't involved. And I hear people
Yeah,
having
yeah,
like crews and doing this. Like I always loved hip
yeah,
hop, but I never even thought of like myself as actually being part of it. I was just a fan, like, oh, I love hip hop, but like
yeah.
you, what in high school, you're like, nah, we're jumping in this.
Well, I mean, like it was different for me because I fell into a like well, I won't say everywhere I went because I moved around a lot. Like I always kind of gravitated to people that enjoyed music, and you know, if I go to one school, there a couple dudes I fell into that like to dig records, and then there's another school, fuck, we're breakdancing, and then another school, it's like so like you can always stay close to one of the five elements, but I really didn't start getting into the dirt until we were freestyling stuff in high school, but not until I went to college, not until after 2010 or whatever did we even really even think about it because that's when it kind of became more like accessible.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
The
we were lucky.
accessibility
Like
changed everything.
we happened to go to a high school where we didn't get textbooks. We got laptops. We got like old uh, latitudes, like the Dell ones, and they just put all our textbooks on there. But coincidentally, they gave us Audacity and Photoshop, and you know what I'm saying. So we already had the tools kind of to get into the work, and we were putting virtual DJ and whatever Hercules, you know what I'm saying, whatever we could get our hands on. I mean, kids were playing GTA in class. Like it was messy, but it gave us that like, getting a laptop at everybody come from a different background, but dude, getting a laptop at 15 free alone is crazy. Even now. But then loaded with software, it's like I was in high school when Fruity Loops came out, and everybody in
Yeah.
my school had a laptop. So yeah, we just wrote because I was a literature major, so we just wrote and then we just gave all that shit out. But once kind of have a couple guys start to get a little traction, then I was like, oh well, let me see what I sound like in the booth, what my voice sound like. Here we are.
And you were just ready to get there. You were just like, I wouldn't even. Were you ever nervous at one point, or were you just like, nah, I really want to try this out?
I was doing a lot of slam poetry like leading up to it. I was one of those guys that was like, I'm a writer. I will never read my writings over music. Like that's not my vibe. Like blah blah. Like I didn't get into like mainstream hip hop till super super late. So like I was kind of always against it. But yeah, we had enough dudes that were like, we were just sitting in a session, and it was like, I need a feature. I need somebody to, your voice sound better on this hook than mine do. Like that kind of stuff. Enough went by, and I did enough open mics and slam poetry spots and bookstores and stuff that I was like, can I got the breath control. Like, let me see what it sound like. And then the next year we put a tape out to the unit.
So you must have been had a pretty tight crew if you guys were having conversations like that. Like, no, I think you would sound good here. Oh, you would sound good there, huh?
Yeah, we it was like a real coincidence how we all met. Like I think it was mostly three of us, like with the strength. But we can obviously always, when you have a friend group, there's always like auxiliary people that kind of come and go, satellite friends or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we played um freshman team basketball together, and we didn't really hang out a lot, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then coincidentally, I moved right across the street from one while me and the other one were best friends, and like they knew each other in middle school, and we're like, one bullied the other one. It was just like a funny TV show dynamic. But like the younger one made beats, I wrote, the other one was like very showy, like you know what I'm saying. So it kind of made for the equal balance, and then you know we moved out, got a house in downtown, and just like kind of locked in clothing brand and music, and we, you know we just try to do everything because we had everything. You know, you have a bunch of dudes with a bunch of different skill sets, like you like especially being super young, no responsibilities. Like yeah, we're gonna we're gonna do it out the trunk, and
Damn,
that's really what kind of inspired me for real. Without
you
that, I wouldn't have got into it.
you were living the dream that I think I wish and many people wish they would, to really find a crew when you're young
Yeah,
and
yeah,
be able to lock in like that. Because that's like one of the tough things that we face with these Discord groups is just like you'll never be able to be that close and have that kind of a bond to be kind of have that, you know, working dynamic over the internet. You know, you can still make good music together, but I don't know, that must have been something special.
well, you need both. That's why it's hard over the internet. You need to have the music experience shared. Obviously, you have to like have a similar taste in sound and you know what I'm saying, applicable talents, whatever. But like you also have to have the life experiences because you could be rapping about something that I don't give a fuck about, and I could be rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like it, like
Yeah.
or it'll kind of like help you lock in on how the beat will influence a record. I hear a beat, you might be talking that talk. I'm thinking something introspective, then it kind of keeps you off. It's hard to sync that wavelength.
Well, one thing that actually we've done with the you know, the former group that we had, the Stew, you know, they kind of introduced me into rapping. I'd been making beats for years, and they really like in a collab setting would have songs, but each song would have a concept, like a strong concept that would go to it. And a lot of times, what would happen was there'd be like a general concept, and each person would do their take on it, and the takes would be like completely different. But it almost made a
Yeah,
dope
yeah,
song. Like, you know,
true.
one song was about drinking one time, and one guy's whole thing was going sober. So he was just talking about his struggles with drinking. So it was like almost like
Right.
both sides of it. So
Both sides of it. Yeah,
you
yeah.
get that sometimes too when you get people coming from different perspectives as well. But still, I overall having a crew in person, that must have been cool. And so the other thing that you mentioned is you said you started producing later on. I know
Yeah.
most of the dudes like me and Crafted by Tyler and some other dudes, we all made beats first and
Yeah.
then kind of got to a point where we're like, you know what? I think we're better than some of the dudes that are rapping on our beats. Like maybe we should
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
rapping. But you went the other way. Tell me a little
hmm
bit about how things developed for you, and then how what made you go into making beats too.
I'm a like natural boom bap guy. Like I, my parents introduced me very early on to like I was listening to like a lot of Tribe growing up, like a lot of De La, a lot of Fuji's, like you know what I'm saying, a lot of very like neo driven rap stuff, and I never really wavered a lot, very far from that. So when I got comfortable rapping, because obviously you start rapping, your YouTube beating, your instrumentals, whatever you can get off of B sides, you know what I'm saying? You're doing your work, but it got to the point where I didn't want to rap on Mad Villainy instrumentals, or I didn't want to rap on, you know what I'm saying? Like very like Lil Wayne, Carter 3 records, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do that. I can only do that for so long. You feel me? Like, and you know, I'm really trying to make my stripes in 2016, 2017, 2018, where it's very future, very Migos driven. And to be honest, I got to a new state, a new city. I fell in with some cats. This is the first person I ever met in my life that, and this is in 2016, 2015, that knew even who Doom was. This is, you know, this is, he's putting out Neruvian Doom, like he's putting records out, like he's alive and well, and he's overseas somewhere. But like, this was, I was like, bro, we got to be homies. If,
You know who
you know
that
what I'm
is.
saying? Like, bro, I've been listening to dudes I was in fourth grade, and I've never found one person that knew who Doom was for real. Like, please, let's lock in. And he was, you know, one of those dudes that like likes to dabble in stuff. So he was buying gear, and I think he just bought a new laptop, and he got a push two when it came out.
Okay.
But Ableton was too like intense to learn for the first time. So like whenever I went over there, we just played, I turn knobs and slap pads and shit. But Serato, the sampling software, they put out their DAW for the first year. It was like a full fledged DAW. They just introduced it. It was like very like intuitive. Like it's
Okay.
meant for DJ. It's meant for DJs, but it's like sampling driven. So we were like, oh, that's exactly what we're doing. Download it. Let's go through the demo. I haven't put it down since. I probably made 5 beats on his laptop like one day in a sesh, and I've been throwing gang sides up for Serato Studio ever since, bro.
I
For real.
think once you find what, like, once you have like your DAW dialed in for what you need, like, I
Yeah,
don't know,
for sure. I
especially
mean,
if
once
you're,
you're not exploring, yeah, once you're done figuring out what your sound is and what like lane you kind of want it. I mean, not that producing needs to stay in a lane, but like, you know what I'm saying. If once you figure out your workflow,
yeah,
what like, what are we doing?
yeah.
Why sleep around? You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you look other ways, you know what I'm saying? Like if you have wandering
that's
eyes,
that's such a
maybe
good
that speaks
analogy,
something more to it speaks more to your relationship than the dog. You feel me? Like
bro. That's
maybe
such a good analogy because it's like when you sleep around, your life gets complicated
no, for sure.
both
Why
ways.
overcomplicate life? If you got a good thing, why overcomplicate it? Like I said, if that thing you got ain't quite fulfilling your needs, that's a different conversation. Then you gotta talk about something else. But that's your fault.
Cheating on
You know?
Ableton with Fruity Loops.
That's what I'm saying. That's fruity slice or not even all that. I'm like, whatever.
I
But I'm not like
always,
I'm not a musician, so it makes it really easy. Like
yeah,
I'm a record head. I'm a sample flipper. So like that's it's my language.
yeah.
It doesn't make nothing too. Why overthink it?
Well, I'm just surprised too at how much like I I always felt like there was a point where I needed to like be like, yeah, do all this instrumentation and stuff, but like once I really dug down deep into like all my favorite producers and how sample heavy they were, I was like, nah, I don't
Yeah,
really need to do that at all. I just need to sample better.
yeah. I need to pick better samples. I need to have better drums, and I need to stop thinking so much. Like you listen to these stories about these producers, how they make their smash hits. It was like, yeah, we were chilling. I heard this record. I looped my favorite part.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Throw some slapping drums on it and we got a beat.
Yeah, yeah. But my thing, like, I honestly didn't start making beats. Um, it was mostly because I just needed shit to rap on.
Yeah.
Just
Necessity,
stuff
for
that
sure.
that moved me, yeah, out of necessity. But it's funny. Once, honestly, since I started making beats, this is as least productive as I've been ever in my life in recording.
Yeah.
Like, I I don't want to say I'm distracted, but like it's a different skill, and I'm that kind of person where it's like if I'm rusty, all right, I'm gonna need some time before I'm giving it to the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like that in everything though. Like don't I'll turn down a one-on-one game if I feel like my jump shot broke today. You know what I'm saying? Like I if if I'm not feeling it, it's not for y'all. If it's not for me, it's not for y'all. For sure. But I don't know. I guess I'm just I have less perfectionism in the recording process. I mean, in beat making than I do recording process.
You have less perfectionism in
In
beat
beat
making
making
than you
for
do
sure,
recording. Why do you think that
for
is?
sure, for sure.
Just
Because I
because
really
it's
only really make beats for you to get an idea. Like I've probably put out 100 records the last year and a half, maybe.
yeah.
But it's because I'm not really afraid to put out like not a half finished beat, but like I don't mind getting 75% of the way, and I'll mix it because I really just want you to get the idea to start writing to it. We're gonna lock in anyway. I'm gonna finish the beat around your vocals. Like I'm like I don't need to have the fully imagined idea for you to get a spark.
Yeah, true.
I don't. I mean, I'm not trying to make a beat onto a play. A couple beats might make it to a playlist, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not for. really mass appeal. It's for writing purposes. It's a tool for the MC. You're gonna hit me up for it. We're gonna talk out stems. You send me an idea, I'm gonna send you some different stem. Drop these in it. Or you know what I'm saying? Or we'll actually lock in. I'll flush out a progression based on what you're feeling the vibe is. I'll sound effects, like all that sound of stuff. Like why put gun sound effects if you not talking about clap? You know what I'm saying? Like why push the idea to such a finite finished product if it's still a work in progress?
Well, I think it is because a lot of people come from the I need like when you're not in a Discord group or you don't know anybody, you got to put your beats on YouTube or somewhere for people to. So what happens is producers start overproducing the shit out of beats just to get
Yeah.
attention, just to let people know what they can do. But then, yeah, when you
Well,
get in a setting where you're actually collab, no, like you're
the MC's gonna
1,000%
want you to
right.
take half that stuff out anyway.
Yeah.
And like we're getting so well, not getting like the producer community has gotten so obsessed with impressing other producers that
Yes.
like
Oh my
you
god. I'm
lose
so glad you
bro.
brought that up.
I'm good for a beat switch. I'm good for a beat switch, but bro, calm the fuck down. Like you've introduced 8 different synths and 4 different leads to a sample flip. Like we didn't need any of it. You had 4 variations of a hook. Who's writing 4 hooks? Like it's that kind of thing. But you know, look how
I might not
I can
even
micro
write one.
chop. Come on. I'm like, yo, I might save that hook for the outro. We gonna keep it pushing to the next record. But like, because we're the only ones that'll get feedback on that beat on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's all it's all the circle jerk, and I'm not like we have to care to a degree if you're really doing it for business, but that's not really what I'm in it for.
I'm
Like,
so against feedback.
yeah, I mean,
I'm so against feedback
because
because
nobody
my
wants true
feedback.
feedback.
Well, it's not that true. No, it's not necessarily that. It's just that feedback is just really based off someone else's opinion because you can
True.
share if you had a dope beat, like let's say you had an actual dope beat and you can show it to 10 producers who are also really good and you might have 5 of them that like it, 5 of them that don't. They
Yep.
probably all give you different feedback. If they really gave you like in-depth feedback, you'll get one guy telling you how he loves the bass line, another guy telling you how he hates the bass
Flow to
line.
the
And it's
baseline.
just like
Yep.
my whole thing with feedback is what happens with the beat. Because when you drop beats in a Discord and then someone hops on the beat, then that means okay, there's something going on with that beat. And then if a second rapper drops on that beat, that means not only they like the beat, they like the song, they like everything going on. To me, the actual movement of it is a lot of the feedback. Not to say that beats that don't get hopped on aren't good, but like when you're like posting stuff and people are hopping on them like that,
Yeah.
or even it's almost like an aggregate, right? Like let's say you posted on YouTube and you start getting a bunch of comments on one beat. That's how I knew.
Yep.
It's like, oh, this beat's better than my other beats. And so that's where I kind of also, I don't think there's nothing wrong with getting direct feedback from somebody, but it's just like I take the direct feedback and then I kind of take a look at like, all right, what are the comments, who's hopping on the beats, and I
Yeah.
try to put it all together to really get the feedback of where things are going.
This is why creating on the internet is hard because, like, I mean, this is why a producer's job is also so difficult because, like, you have to worry about the person, like how they're feeling in the moment they heard your beat. Like, even in asking for feedback, like I can ask you on a Monday on the way to work, you're gonna like something completely different than you're gonna on Friday night on the way home from work.
Yeah.
Like it, 2 different beats are gonna hit your ear completely different ways. So it's like there's a lot of noise in the individual feedback, and then as far as like feedback on the internet, it's like it kind of echo chambers your creative process because then you're just chasing that beat for every
Yeah.
time you sit down to make
Yeah,
something
yeah.
new. And it's like, well, what about the 10 beats that got you to that beat? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different. It kind of it fucks with your brain a little bit. Um, So honestly, like it's harder now than ever to get any like true traction because nobody a knows what they're chasing. But then like kind of how we started, like if you don't have that camp that really to like really bounce stuff off of, then you're kind of just fighting in the dark for real.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta have. That is the other part of the feedback. It's like if you have nothing and you're shooting into an echo chamber, it's just kind of like whatever. So yeah, have an actual
Hmm.
something to bounce off of, just something, just to get an idea. I really just for me the best beats are the ones that get stuck in my head. If I hear something and all of a sudden I hear it in my head the next day, yo,
Yeah,
there's something to that one, baby.
yeah. Something that sticks over a nice rest is different, different.
Yeah, that one beat I rapped on over years. I didn't really like how well I wrote over that, but man, I heard that. I loved it immediately, but then like
Yeah,
I heard it the next day in my head. I heard it the next day in my head. It's like I gotta try to write
just another
something to
good sample,
this.
bro. Just another. I didn't do shit, but but mix the sample, bro. That's literally you know what I'm saying. I'm as long as you that's it sparks something because that's the curse for me. I think I have such a hard time writing to my own beats,
Oh, for sure. No, we all talk about that. Nobody likes
bro.
rapping to their own beats.
And look, because I'm good to write something to something completely different, and I'll drop it right on one of my beats.
Yeah.
Cause like for some reason, maybe because I sit with it for so long, the spark kind of dies off, or you spend so much tweaking and to the fine not maybe not even fine details, but you know you incubate something to at least completion. You almost don't even want to look at that shit no more.
There's
Especially if it's like mixed and mastered. You know what I'm saying? It's on a release and artwork. Oh, I don't even want to think about that shit. You know? I'm glad you like it. That's what I'm on. I'm glad you liked it because I wasn't even thinking about
that's the realest shit. Anybody I know that does both does not like rapping over their own beats or just doesn't like it, can't, just doesn't. I don't know. There's just something about. I don't know. It's just I just like. For me personally, I always felt like I did a good job chopping samples. I never felt like my drums or my bass lines were ever that great. But I just
it. I
felt
can
like
relate
when I
to that.
started getting in these discords that I don't know. I just liked other people. I just liked hearing other people's styles because I liked hearing other people's
Yeah,
beats. And when you hear someone else's style, it's like there's just something about like when someone else does something awesome. It's like, oh, I didn't even think about doing it that way, or like that's
yeah,
totally
yeah, yeah.
unique. Where it's just like it almost just makes it be like I just like, oh man, I like that beat so much better. It's
Yeah, I
just
did.
something about it. But I think
I've
you're
been
right
trying to
too.
get
Something
on with
about
the.
just sitting with it for too long. It's just like it's
Yeah, I
just
think so. I think so. Like as well, anyway, Eh, but yeah, like that's really been like the test for me, especially over the last maybe like 2 years or so. Like, uh, just get back into making stuff that I want to rap on.
yeah,
You know, like now that I'm not exploring anymore, like
yeah.
is I've kind of
Not
you
out
know
running
I've
around on your doll.
no, definitely not. Definitely not. I don't got my ring on right now, but you know what I'm saying. I was doing the dishes earlier. You heard I was in the kitchen. I was doing the dishes. You know what I'm saying. I don't got my ring on right now, but no, for we are trying to get sponsored, man. I'm Serato. If you're watching this, bro,
Yeah, let's get it.
we've been reaching out to y'all every like 4 times a month for the last year, man. Like we trying to get Serato sponsored. Been doing the beat flips. I think I got like second place as my top one so far. But
Let's wait.
send me a T-shirt, nigga.
Beat flips for what? What are you talking about now?
Serato Studio hosts a beat flip competition. They were doing it every week for a little while. Through the holidays, they died out a little bit. They usually do a couple of them. The homie DJ Gons, he hosts on YouTube. I think he's dual streams to Twitch sometimes.
Oh,
Sometimes it's hosted by a big producer because I get sample packs probably maybe at least every month. They are made by some names. Oh, this week DiBiase beat pack. Bad, appreciate that. Decap, I'll take that. I'll take DJ Jazzy Jeff. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take Just Blaze. Yeah, come up off that. Drums, samples, yeah, loops, instruments, yeah, we take all that. Send me that. So sometimes they'll hold a sample flip and you know they get
and you got
feedback
and you
and
got second one time.
I got third like three times. I got second like two or three times. It's some stiff competition out there, but
That's awesome, though. I was gonna say,
they
yeah, if
get
Serato's hosting it, there's gotta be a shit ton of
yeah,
people coming
yeah,
out.
yeah. Not it's crazy. Like not a lot of people are using their DAW, so I'm really trying to champion it, especially to like new producers, especially to like guys that are into DJing and sampling and stuff. Like it makes my life so easy. This ain't no
Well,
commercial. They ain't paying me for this. I swear to God.
not yet.
Not yet. I was say not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Ambassador facts. This could be a Serato Carhartt. You feel me?
They should. Serato Carhartts. That's a good fucking idea too.
Write that down. Write that down. Write that down. Write that down. Write that down.
I know Mike Lowe. I think he uses Ableton, but he got the Serato
He definitely
sampler.
chops. He definitely chops in Serato. I can't hear
Yeah,
it.
well, he
for
just
real. He's
he
not.
said Serato just changed my whole entire life, and so
Yeah. So yeah, imagine. I mean, that plugin has been running the sample BST game 25 years, 30 years,
yeah,
but they finally blew it out into a whole and they've been running the DJ game for
yeah.
even longer than that.
Well, that's what it mostly is the DJ game for them.
Right. But they just combine those two and put it into a full-fledged DAW. Dude, everything locks the key. Everything BPM match is way better than Ableton. They give me a crap ton of instruments and probably damn near a terabyte of instruments and samples and stuff for free at this point.
All right, God. I'm gonna try to do my good deed and help Maliq get a sponsorship
Right.
from fucking Serato.
Serato.
That's my good deed I'm trying to do.
The Dr. Awkward sample pack on Serato is coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what I kind of been getting to with the homies the last couple months. Like we're just kind of moving from relying on the music and doing like producer services, more like that. Like we
Yeah.
got a bunch of instrumentalists that we kind of moved down. Coincidentally, we met in the Discord server. Moved one homie from Indiana and the other homie from New York. Got them jobs in my restaurant, and he's probably at the crib recording guitar loops right now. Like so, we're doing loop packs together and vocal can chains and just there's more people making music than there are listening to music at this point.
Wait, you said jobs in your restaurant. Your restaurant or just the
Yeah,
restaurant you
yeah.
work at?
I mean, I do have ownership stake. I got a couple pennies in the pot, you know what I'm saying? But I
Oh,
do
that's cool.
recruiting and I manage a couple of the locations.
That's awesome. You got a whole little thing going on.
I felt honestly another thing I fell into by accident.
Yeah,
And
tell us more about this. Tell us about the restaurant game.
I can't tell y'all too much of the origins. That's for what I'm saying. That's off pod, but we
Cool.
I got I got into coffee at like I was like 25, dude. I got into coffee, like just needed a day job, and they coincidentally like it was some local itty bitty spot, and they had a manager that literally taught me everything she knew. She was award winning and she could speak fluent Italian. She was so good at making coffee.
Mm.
And they needed a manager. I was like, I can count money. Like I can close a drawer for you. You feel me? And ever since then, I've been like the best barista in the state, no matter where I go. And I kind of moved around a little bit. And then I got here. I'm in Jax now. And I was kind of walking around the neighborhood that I moved into. And I was like, oh, this is dope. Whatever little spot, like I got a shit ton of people in here, so
Yeah.
tips got to be decent. What's up with it? And I don't know. I've just barista there for like a year, trying to avoid responsibility, to be honest, because I was doing so much other stuff on the side. And
Sure.
they were like, "Are you trying to double your salary this year?" And I was like, "Yes, I am trying to double my salary this year." What's
Been
what's
trying to do that
smacking?
every year.
what's what's the play? But like yeah, like I mean, I knew it was a new company. Like they're only 6, 7 years old, but they had a like incredible plan on growth.
Okay.
They've doubled location in the time that I've been there, and it's like a family run company. So like they only really hire they foster from within. You
Sure.
feel me? So at this point, I knew everybody's kids. At that point, I knew kind of the foundation and their goals for the community and stuff. like just inherently, just by being there. So they offered me a store. It's like, all right, like I guess, like I've never cooked before, like in a kitchen, like you know, what I'm saying a restaurant. Like, they're like, yeah, we'll teach you how to cook and blah blah. I was like, oh, all right, then what's up with it? And so I took one of their like low performance stores and flipped the vibe essentially. Like I told them, like I'm not gonna change who I am. Like I'm gonna run this like you know what I'm saying. Y'all picked me, so I'm about to run it like it's mine. And now I'm I'm recruiting for the whole company. I gotta go to in St. Augustine soon and do training for their new employees, and like it's turned into like a true career,
That's
but like
awesome, man.
completely by accident.
You're the fixer. You're the one that comes in. All right, I'm gonna take the
Look,
low
bro.
store. I'm gonna make it the high store, baby. We're gonna be the number one
I mean,
store.
hey, a flip is a flip. A flip is a flip. But like the dopest thing for me is like I was in a server like this, like but you know, it was dudes that in there that had known each other for years and years from, you know, across the country and stuff. And like there was a couple guys, well there was one dude in particular that was in a kind of like, you know, messed up situation, trash roommate, gambling debts and drugs and like and the dude was very like, you know, just a man of his music kind of thing. And I was like, bro, like I don't got a lot, but if you can get here, pull up.
Yeah.
And he came, and then I got him a job in one of the spots, just washing dishes. Pay your dishwasher good, you know what I'm saying? I'll teach you how to cut vegetables if you're trying to do that. I'll teach you how to cook if you're trying to do that. Like that's kind of how the company is.
Yeah.
And then we brought another cat down in New York. So and then we brought another cat down. So like we're just kind of like mobbing now. And then so now they're playing music on Saturday afternoons outside. I mean, cause you know, they've been fucking stacking and buying gear and buying fucking every fucking week I see them and they bought a new guitar. Cause they both play guitar, they both play bass, they both produce music, they both mix vocals. Like one dude raps, like it's one dude plays the piano, so it's like might as well pull up. Come on,
Yo, that's like one of the coolest fucking music stories I've ever heard.
you feel me? Like that's the best thing about this whole company thing. It's like I get to like I mean, and then it's kind of dope for me because like I get to just like walk around and boss around my friends all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, quit all this get yapping, get back to work. This pit need to get caught the fuck up, bro. But it just kind of improves the vibe and because I just you know I just hire out vibes and they fit right in.
Well, yeah, I mean that makes it so much more of a thing. It's more of a job at that point. It's you're help. It's a you
Yeah.
guys are creating a life for yourselves. I mean, you guys are
Mm-hmm.
the musical fucking kitchen.
I mean, I kind
You
of
got the
hired
freestyles
that
going
way
in the back
anyway.
sometimes. Boom, boom, boom.
Like, cause like musicians, you don't have to teach a musician how to work hard, right? Like, if you're great at playing the piano, just like any other skill, like ballet or anything, like you already have enough dedication to something that I don't have to hope that you show up every day.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you play a sport or you know have a trade, if you paint, whatever it is, like you have enough emotional awareness of life to not just stand around and scroll TikTok while you're getting paid.
Well,
You know
you
what I'm
know,
saying?
if someone has some skill at something and they've actually shown to perfect their craft, you know that they put all the time and effort into doing that without any
Exactly.
other motivation other than they were just interested and went after doing it. So they know how to put into work
Facts.
to achieve a goal. And
Mm-hmm.
not even necessarily a goal, but just like understand what it takes to like what you're talking about, understanding what the work it takes to actually do something proper.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, look, man, I'll teach you how to do anything in the building. You got the best barista in the fucking country. No, in the company, in the company.
The
We'll
company.
teach you how to do anything.
And so you
But
started. You said you moved a lot, and you started in California, and now you're in Jacksonville now.
yeah, yeah, it was. I mean, I've been all over the place, dude. Like, I mean, I moved around a lot when I was in Cali. Like, my parents were never together, so like, two young singles are always moving around, especially in LA.
Yeah.
So like, you know, every year one of them was moving somewhere. But before I started high school, me and my mom was just like, I'm a like not die of gang violence. You know, like I'm a, and at the time, LA Unified School District was probably like bottom four, five in the country,
Oh, in the cold country.
and yeah, and then coincidentally, one of my cousins that I grew up with in LA, like, um, had just moved to Virginia. Like they just wanted to get a new start, like a couple years prior. They were having more kids and stuff. You know, bought a house, really moved in, and we're like, Virginia got good schools. Like, what's cracking? Kind of wanted to be, not wanted to be, but like the appeal of a big fish in a small pond. I mean, we went to Richmond, which is not a small pond, but especially
compared
now, but back
compared to
then,
California.
yeah, compared to, yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So I went to high school. I went to two different high schools in Virginia. Um, and but that's where I fell into my camp, and then went to college out there, and uh, graduated and met a girl, of course. Um, but we both had very like transferable skills. Like she was managing like a hair salon, one of the chains or something, and I was just making coffee. So it was like I have this whole portfolio of, you know, recipes and syrups and latte art and all this stuff. Like I can take this anywhere. Like I don't need, and she always had this dream to move to Florida, and her job was like, yeah, we'll transfer you down there. So, you know, at that point, that's 10 winners for an LA kid in the snow. And I was like, yeah, take me to the beach. Take me to the beach for sure. And, you know, one of her parents was also from California. So like we just kind of, but it was so expensive at the time. Anywhere in LA is, you know, arm and a leg for real. So we were like, this is a
Oh
good
yeah.
medium, you know? So we moved to this itty bitty, not itty bitty, but you know, we moved blind first and foremost. Buying a cop an apartment online,
Oh, done that before. Yep.
cop the U-Haul. I had a trailer my car down. Her girl drove, and bro, I had to drive a, what is it? The 16 foot? No, that's a tractor trailer. Like
16 foot.
10 foot box truck.
Yeah, yeah,
10 foot
yeah.
box truck with a trailer overnight, probably, I mean, shit. Northern deep from DC to Daytona in Florida.
That's
So
what
that was
15,
probably
20
16
hours.
hours, 15,
Yeah, yeah.
16 hours. Yeah. That was a good time. But yeah, I mean, you know, but Florida, honestly, I tell all my homies this from all my other states. Like, Florida is like, it's exactly what you would expect, but nothing that you hear about.
Okay.
I've had the least run-ins with the law. Like I've never seen a gator. I've never seen a snake. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, you'll see the Trumpito flags, I guess, like, but that's low key everywhere. So it's like, I haven't seen anything really out of the norm since I got here. And taxes is excellent. The business,
Yeah.
the EINs and stuff are cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
for like a budding creative, like, is and you know, I'm right by the beach, and so yeah, it kind of, it shouts to her. We didn't work out, but the move definitely worked out for sure.
That's awesome. Yo,
For sure.
this is exactly why we do these interviews. You have such a unique story, man. That is crazy. That I'm actually so happy that it sounds like everything is going fucking awesome for you down there.
I mean, it takes time. That's and everything is not hunky dory. Like, there's flowers in the drop, but it's not sunshine and flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, but as long as I find a way to put myself in a position where I can be comfy, I don't need nothing else. You know?
Word up, word up. Same way here, man. Just give me enough time and money to make some music and do some creative dope shit, and I'm a happy camper with that. All right, man. I think it's. I would definitely gonna talk a little bit more, but I think it's time to get into some of these tunes here. Yeah,
Oh, I forgot all about this part. It's the best part.
yeah, yeah. We got to play some of the music as well.
I mean, I can just kind of like preface everything as a unit. Like, this is the first record I put out after the rebrand, the project as a whole. It's very like introspective. It's all my production, which is crazy after the conversation we just had, but um like but yeah, I mean, I just like to put real shit on record, and uh, it, everything beyond that is just the packaging for real. But yeah, you can rock anything. Any of the three works in any order. They all feel good.
We're gonna go in order. And I love your
Bet, bet,
picture,
bet.
the Doctor Awkward with the sheet with the fucking glasses over. All right,
That's how I be feeling in the stew.
Maliq, point blank, split ends.
Blemishes.
From off the top of the keys, three villains tryna peek outside of the box of perceived ceilings. Ain't tryna seek no approval, but this don't feel right. Yeah, my lamp got its shade on it, but damn, it's still bright. I am my own, but Yama's on me, and it's still right. Could write with my left and look back like it's still right. Done peel back the fruit rind and duct taped it back. Smuggle facts in these rhymes in case I don't live. Lost a pretty stack in my time, won't chase it back. Whole lot of redacted files back in my case. In fact, it's these time to time I be thinking they miss me, and then the points missed, although a litany, they stick with me. Now this lanky yellow pin cushion to the bullshit. Invested in shovels, now it's muscles without full bread. With no bread up front, modern headhunter to these local chains and run your chain or catch you out here open, man. From off the top of the key is the three villain, tryna peek outside of the box of perceived ceilings. Ain't tryna seek no approval, but this don't feel right. Yeah, my lamp got a shade on it, but damn, it's still bright. I am on, but Yama's on me, and it's still right. Could write with my left and look back like it's still right. Done peel back the fruit rind and duct taped it back. Smuggle facts in these rhymes in case I want. Now I'm back to touring planet, and that's a hard lot of new trends. The world turns as rules bend. Harboring my feelings, I've been meaning to deal with. No storage unit. Growing toward my own son and born to explore through it. Regardless of not, holding no words regarded as high. Crashing boards, never bored with the results of my shots. They say me finding my path is such a long one. As far as shots, I'm gassed and the time's on. It's that nigga tell your girl to get them pom-poms going. But whole slate of emotions is like a rom-com showing. And if it dawned on me, the songs and the pops congruent. Learn to connect them like a soldering student. Better with both. Well, H's and the pages turn. Sample ring and ample like where you save this from. Docking point blank together like which page you from. How many bites of the apple is rational? Plant a new purpose for the core and plant a new seed. Remind niggas the world don't turn around their news feeds.
How many bites? How many bites from the apple is rational? Yo, what was that beat? It had the it had the fake drum. You thought that snare was coming in, but then it didn't, and then it came in.
We don't need them. And then it come back. And then it come back. But that's the kind of shit I was talking about. Like I was probably send somebody that with the drums all the way through it. I'm taking most of them shits out, son. Probably, like at least just for a version for me. You feel me? Like let them hear what you talking, bro. Talk that talk.
All right. That one was Split Ends.
Split Ends.
So these are all from the same project. This project, Blemishes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk more about the project after listening to all of these. All right. Next song up, we got Birthmarks by Maliq Point Blank.
Validity at the bottom of brown bottles. I've been sitting pensively undecided on what I've taught them. But me ain't learned shit. Earn grips what the show for. How to stuff a resume but what they go for. And how to mask my expressions just like a contour. And how to pass on my blessings, but I ain't Larry Sanders. Kin to canter, but feet in standard. It doesn't matter, nigga. Cold shoulders, no tall order. I'm 6 foot. Dumb mistook the lines I pre-hand wrote for scriptures. And these eyes high res, all the projections picturesque. Spinning so dead off the ideas I ain't invented yet. Shed a few tears for the position they been put in yet. Had a few years, wouldn't have minded that commitment back. Matter of fact, nah, just write it out. Fuck it. I'm not ready, bro. I'm not ready. The doors are still open, they too fresh. Just let it go. And every person, every bridge is yo, yo. Cause every beat is how I live, yo. And every beat and every bridge is yo. And every verse is how I live.
one was Birthmarks. Tell me more about that one. That was a different track.
Yeah, that's the intro track to the record. It's kind of introduction to kind of the talk I'm gonna be talking through the record. Like it's just putting some words to some things that like I feel like a lot of us feel, you know. Um, like I've been sitting pensively on the side of what I taught them, but me ain't learned shit. Earn Chris, what the show for? Like we do all this shit where it's like we're trying to enrich the people around us, but like what is it doing for us? Like actually true reflection, you know what I'm saying? But um, you know, but sometimes those conversations are difficult. So that some people sometimes you can make it through it, you need a break, but sometimes you kind of got to tap out and reconvene. And this verse at some point I was like, you know what, it's not even worth it. Like let's not even do this right now, because you know sometimes you're too mad to have the conversation, or you know what I'm saying, you have too much emotion in the topic to really have a true back and forth about it.
Nah, see, that's my problem. I'm never too mad to have the conversation. That's where I get in trouble.
You be cussing and hollering. Yeah, you be cussing and hollering.
I be getting in trouble. I need to start doing that, though.
I don't like to argue for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll debate you back and forth. We'll share facts, but I don't like to argue. So I feel like a conversation not going nowhere. Like, I'm quick to be like, you know what? Call me tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's sleep on it. Like, if you fuck with me for real, we could talk about it another time for real. This ain't it, though.
I need to learn how to do that one day. All right, last track up here, and then we'll get to more about what we got coming up next. But Acne, Maliq, Point Blank.
Damn, I still got toothpaste hands, gon' pull my pants up. Food don't taste near what I imagined for it to last, huh? Prime's past, alright, fine. Lasting, waiting, reflecting on what was my objective in debating. I've been in craters deep in Yamcha, now my stock swells. Depending on the odor that my socks smell of, and dependent in paying taxes for what the box bill rung. Impended on shit I'm finna do in the interim. All I needed was everything till it won't enough. Rapping about the shit I seen before was old enough, and crying about something medial, sure he means well. Last question really trying to hear is, are you feeling well? Sick of the prisons, been building out my own homes, leaning in and learning the lessons that I've been known to throw. Combos correspond nose to past confident. Dawn those colors, round waist was past garnish. Voice hoarse before the card attached to wear my harness. Whole stable speaking on workload before the hard hits. Thought he was partners, I'm getting written like whipping boys. Gold sought after once was written, now missing boy. Something about pivots and living with it make my mental rattle. Drag my anchor around, hope it don't call for travel. Nature of nurture, how victims become villainized. Nurture of nature, the villain can't fall victim to. Yo. Nature of nurture, how victims become villainized. Nurture of nature, the villain can't fall victim to. Yo.
Wait. Nature. That was dope. I think I get it. But nature of nurture, the victim becomes villainized.
Hey, show more. The lyrics is right there.
I've been reading it. I need to start doing this. My problem is I always write my lyrics on paper, and I don't feel like transferring them over. But nurture of nature, the villain can fall victim to. That's dope.
Yeah, man. Sometimes the villain, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they victimize the villain. But sometimes the victim is also a villain. You know what I'm saying? Like this.
True.
Like we can have there's a little bit of both in all of us, depending on who you are for real.
The abused tend to become the abusers.
Facts. At some point, I mean, we're not gonna quote that Batman shit, but you know what I'm saying? At some point, like the villain need a hug too, bruh. You know? Like damn. That's what I mean, I've always kind of like, you know, taken that role, especially through the art. Like it's traditionally darker. It's like the ad libs get a little crazy, and You know what I'm saying? Like so,
I
so it
like the
kind of
ad
fits.
libs on that one. It's like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got the double ad libs. That's it. Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
it.
I'm big on doing doubles on one side, and then I'm like the call and response on the other. Like,
Oh, I've been doing that so much recently. I just started doing. At one point, I started getting too carried away with it. I started doing like 2 doubles tracks and then 2 ad libs tracks. But now I just do
hey,
like.
if the vibe calls for it, bro,
Yeah, sometimes it does.
I'm with you. Like, I've sent some stems off, and they're like, bro, for real, you recorded it like this? Yes, I did. I sure did.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, maybe I should have just taken some shit away. Like I should have edited more.
You know,
before
you
I
was
send it
funny.
off.
You actually put a perfect words to it. I think I saw the other day. You was like, um, your main track is usually pretty dry. Like the delivery is like pretty straight down the middle, and then you do all the auxiliary stuff on the sides, and that's exactly like that's exactly how I do mine as well. Like my my main vocals are usually like with minimal inflection for real. Not minimal, but like it's the most straight down the road. Like I'll give you more um like I'm more in the pocket, and I'm more so on clarity on my main vocal, and then I'll put all the fluff and I'll pan them in every direction. I'll pan those like instruments.
Yeah, I didn't realize because I didn't do like doubles and ad libs for the longest time. Just because dudes like Nas never really had like ad libs or anything.
No, I feel you. Definitely time and place, but
then when like Griselda came around and I saw how they were using ad libs, like a lot of the dudes from the South, I was just like, you know what? I should start including ad libs. And then once I started doing it, I realized like, cause I always got hurt. Yeah, I always heard I was monotone, but like once I started doing that, it really just added a whole nother element. And
yeah, for sure. You know what it does too? Like it'll also affect, like it'll improve. And I'm not saying improve like it's a shortcoming, because again we are similar in this vein, but like
building on something.
Yeah.
Building on something
Yeah.
solid.
But no, you getting in the habit of kind of maybe going a little all out on the ad libs, you won't be nearly as monotone on your next record, like even through the main verse, because you've kind of developed that wherewithal and that confidence on the mic. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what you were talking about earlier about when you're getting in the flow of things, yeah, man. When I'm in a flow where I'm like recording and writing a lot, it's just like it's almost like each repetition, all of a sudden, I just feel more free when I'm like letting it fly and recording for sure.
I mean, you know, you've made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of beats. Like now, you can hear a sample or a sound, like a drum sound or a pad or something, and you're probably more likely to have a good application for it now than when you did hundreds and hundreds of beats ago.
True.
It's the same thing with beat selection. It's the same thing with every verse you write. It's the same. That's what I'm saying. Like this art is so vast, and like there's so many finite skills that our biggest problem is trying to fill every gap. When there's, you were just saying like you didn't think your drums and your bass sounds were as good. Bro, you know what? Same. And I flew down 2 bass guitar players. You feel me? Like I'm not trying to do stuff that I'm not good at.
Yeah.
Like so I got a sample pack for the server, because most of y'all do drums better than I do, and I'm great at flipping samples. I'll rather send you
the samples.
I mean, even if you want to rap on something, with no drums, it's like I'd rather just do what I'm great at. And great yet, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather do what I'm good at, what I enjoy doing, instead of trying to fill another hole and then record a beat making video and then hashtag it and then mix it and master it for distributed. Like those are like completely different fields of expertise.
Yeah. No, having a team to help fill in the gaps is definitely
That's why we here.
Definitely what time I'm on as well. All right, and
I mean, our time is also finite. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. You don't want to waste your own time.
And so this has been a super interesting, awesome interview. I think my write out question is always just where people are at now, and what are you looking to do? What are you looking to accomplish musically this year and upcoming in the future?
Um, right now, right now I'm doing too many things at once, as always.
Uh-oh.
um, First and foremost, Bleak and Dismal Volume 7 will be out very soon. That is my beat tape series. It has been my swan song into the universe the last year or whatever. Volume 7 will be out probably next weekish, depending on inspiration for cover art and stuff. Um, I mean, I got two verses. I gotta send you alone right now. Like we talking about right now, like in the present. Yeah, I got probably like 4 or 5 verses to re-record and like two hooks to send off. But that's that's what tonight is for.
There you go.
Near future, Blemishes Volume 2 is coming out. Blemishes 2.
Can't wait.
Yeah, that's my next like focus because I'm always gonna be making beats. I'm always gonna be, you know, servicing the group and stuff and like being great. But in the future though, like I'm thinking about picking up some big boy studio time. Like I mean, we're doing the stuff in the in between. Like we're doing the live sets. Um, every Saturday at undisclosed locations all across this glorious city. And, we're slowly putting our toes in the water, trying to see what's biting in the local scene. So, videos and stuff to come if I have to.
All right, well, I got a follow-up question because you've seen multiple scenes in multiple cities. How is the scene out there in Jacksonville?
Luckily for me, it's a pretty old city. Like, I mean, it's not ancient, but the appeal to me now that I'm here is that it's so close to both Atlanta and Miami. Is right in the middle of both. So I get to kind of peek into both of those markets as well. But Jacksonville, in a nutshell, it's cool, man. Like the guys do very different stuff than what I do. Like I kind of give them backing tracks. I give them drum loops and stuff for them to play over. Rapping wise, it's very time and place. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of love for live music. There's a lot of love for hip hop, but not every venue is for every fixture. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm about to go see Robert Glasper next week. His group with the Ninth Wonder. We're gonna hopefully get into this Kendrick and SZA show. Yeah. And we're gonna hopefully make this Tyler show. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of live music to like experience.
Yeah.
And that's probably the best part. I'm gonna find anywhere to rap, bro. I got enough gear to stand on the side of the road and get some bars off if I wanted to.
That's what I a couple of my friends talked me into. We're gonna do the first Fridays like community thing they have in Phoenix out here. That a bunch of dudes out around here locally are trying to get me to come out. So I'm about to go do that and
at least show face. Even if you don't, grab a mic, at least show face.
If there's a mic, I'm gonna check it. Don't get me wrong. I ain't afraid to get us some bars off anytime, anywhere.
Felt that for sure.
This has been a super awesome interview. It has been a pleasure to get to know you. That's why I love doing these interviews. Usually, when you start peeling back the layers of people that make music, they have so many other interesting things going on they've been through in their lives, what they're doing, their personality. And yeah, man, you've been super, super interesting to get to know in this interview. It's been fucking awesome. So, Blemishes 2 coming out. We got beat tapes coming out, and we got restaurants. We're serving.
Yeah, facts. We cooking, and we serving for sure. For sure. I might do a live stream from the kitchen in the next couple of weeks for real.
Dude, that'd be dope. Cooking and cooking.
On the flat top, baby. Chopping samples on the flat top.